How's it going, everyone? In this video I want to talk quite a bit about a report that's making the rounds quite a bit. Sony planning on selling advertising in PlayStation games. We'll talk about that. Looks like another Uncharted game could be on the way based on a post on LinkedIn, and then also Digimon Survive. It's coming a lot sooner than I had expected, and boy oh boy, that July 29th date, yeah, might be over for those of you guys that are playing JRPGs that day. If you're picking up both that and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, well, that's gonna be a trip. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, posted on Business Insider, it was noted Sony is working on a plan to put ads inside PlayStation games, sources said, similar to a move by Microsoft to run ads in Xbox. Three people who are involved in the plans said Sony is doing testing with ad tech partners to help game developers create in-game ads through a software developer program. The idea is to encourage developers to keep building free-to-play games, which have soared in the pandemic, by giving them a way to monetize them, they said. Of course, ads being available in free-to-play games I don't think is going to be too much of a worry for the majority of people. I think ultimately it's what depends on if it does happen in pay-to-play games. Like, as long as it's not intrusive, like if there's like a Coca-Cola billboard or something like that, I don't think that's anything to stress out about, as long as it's not intrusive or anything like that. That's ultimately what it comes down to. But if you're talking about it being done in abundance and it getting out of control, and especially in pay-to-play games, well, that's an issue. In free-to-play games, I get the idea of that. Yes, the idea of a free-to-play game is to monetize it with, you know, incentivizing people to drop real-world money in the game. But if you can monetize it other ways and then also put less of a focus on microtransactions, hey, that could work out as well. Hint, hint, though, there is not going to be less of a focus on microtransactions when it comes to free-to-play games. Look, there's a lot of money to be made in that sector, but if, you know, adding ads into a game maybe mitigates some of the risk if a free-to-play title doesn't completely soar in heights in terms of also having people spend a lot of money, I could understand from that standpoint. It's all about making money and making sure these games profit, so can understand why that idea is there. Alright, moving on from that, Uncharted, one of my favorite franchises in gaming. Sometimes I get a little bit of heat when I compare it to Tomb Raider, and, you know, like, I like me some Tomb Raider too, but Uncharted, definitely a phenomenal franchise. And on Tuesday, Christina Marie Drake McAbearty noted on LinkedIn that she had joined the studio this month as a primary recruiter, noting she is scouting for talent at every level, being able to build future teams for not only new titles, but for the legacy of Uncharted. So when you're talking about the legacy of Uncharted, you could probably look at like Uncharted the Legacy Collection that's coming to PC, already released on PlayStation 5, but also, when you're talking about new titles in the Uncharted franchise, I really think it's a matter of when rather than if when it comes to a new Uncharted game. Uncharted 4 kind of wrapped up the story pretty nicely, but Uncharted is a colossally huge IP for Sony, and I think it's a good idea, don't get me wrong, to sometimes take your foot off the gas of a big IP, even though you know that, you know, it's a license to print money, it's going to do really well commercially, to let it breathe a little bit, let the consumer kind of miss those games and then come back with a brand new title where it's a little bit fresh. Look, Sony has a bunch of different IPs that they can rely on that'll do well commercially. Sometimes I am annoyed by the fact that, you know, all these years later, we still don't have a new Killzone, we don't have a new Infamous, you know, it's been a lot of years for that. Uncharted 4 came out back in early 2016, so I feel like that time is coming where a new Uncharted is probably going to be revealed here soon, especially, you know, with the tie-in of the movie and everything like that. Like, the movie, I know a lot of people weren't hot on it. I believe it did pretty well, though, commercially. Don't really keep up with movies that much, although that Sonic the Hedgehog movie did really well as well. So video game movies, hey, maybe they're going up and up, but Uncharted as a franchise, there's a lot of different roads you can go as far as what to do with it narratively. I like Sam as a character. I know some people weren't crazy about his involvement, but I think there's potential in doing a game with Sam, doing a game with Sully. There's a lot of different routes you could go, and I think Uncharted as an IP is going to be here for the long haul. It's just that I do also think that a break for the franchise was fine. They were putting out those Uncharted games pretty consistently, with Uncharted 1, 2, 3 coming out within, what, like a 4-year period from 2007 to 2011. We had Uncharted Golden Abyss for the 3 people that bought a Vita, and we had Uncharted 4 in early 2016, so they were pretty consistent with those games. And Lost Legacy, of course, came out in August 2017, so really, it's been, you know, 5 years if you want to look at it from Lost Legacy. It's been 6 years since Uncharted 4. I imagine, hopefully a game is in development, and hopefully it's pretty far along. I'd like to see it sooner rather than later. I think Uncharted's got a lot to live on the gaming front as well. Alright, lastly, do want to know, Digimon Survive producer update. Let's freaking go. We finally got a release date for the game, and hell, I remember when I talked about this last, a lot of people were thinking, bro, this game's never gonna come out. 2023 confirmed. Oh no, it's coming out, and it'll be out on July 29th, the same day as Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Yeah, JRPG fans are about to be absolutely obliterated that day, given that, I don't know how you're gonna juggle both those games. Look, I imagine most people are gonna jump into Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm a Digimon guy, though, and I love the look of Digimon Survive, and Digimon Survive is seemingly taking more of a visual novel style focus as well. Hopefully, it does have a big emphasis on its narrative. I do believe it will. Really like the first trailer they put out for it. I just thought, you know, the soundtrack to it sounded great. It looked like there was a lot of detail being put into the mechanics and the battle system, so really hoping that game turns out well. And you guys know me, again, when I talk about Digimon, that's one of those shows that I really grew up with, so there's a lot of nostalgia attached there for me, so obviously I want to see it make a huge comeback. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth was very good. Wouldn't say it was like an amazing game, but I thought it was a very competently made JRPG. Like, mechanically, it was a fine turn-based JRPG. This one a little bit different, and it's hitting just about every platform as well, so you'll be able to play it on just about anything. PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, I believe it's on Xbox One, and it will be on PC as well, so super excited about that. Let's hope for the best, because it has seen some turmoil in its development by those seams of it. Like, you know, you never know what's going on in the inside, but yeah, that game, I imagine, you know, when it was initially announced a couple of years ago that we would get it much earlier than July of 2022, but earlier this year I was thinking, oh man, this ain't even gonna be a 2022 title. Good to see that it will end up being a 2022 game, but that's gonna do it for me. Again, let's see how the advertising in PlayStation games ultimately rolls out. If it's just in free-to-play games, I don't think it's that big of a deal. If it's unintrusive, don't think it's that big of a deal. That's really the main thing. Just have it be unintrusive and we're good to go. Uncharted, probably an IP that's going to be here to stay, and probably, and hopefully I should say, I think we'll see an announcement. I'll say by the end of the year. I really think we're going to see the announcement and the reveal of a new Uncharted game by the end of the year. That's complete speculation on my part, but I think it might be farther along than we think, based on the fact that, you know, it's been, again, what, 6 years since the release of Uncharted 4. Kind of wild to think about that. And Digimon Survive finally hitting later this year. That'll be coming in July 29th. Be ready if you're planning on playing Xenoblade Chronicles as well. But that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.